Right now on the National Weather Desk, historic storm. Record rainfall drenches Los Angeles, triggering mudslides, causing flooding, and some dramatic rescues.
This house is just completely disintegrating.
There's also feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
We've had late season bulks before where we've started slow and gotten a lot of snow to make up for it.
Deadly wildfires destroy thousands of homes in Chile. Also, are hurricanes becoming so strong that we now need a Category 6? And after months of drought, a once dry swimming hole is flowing again in Texas.
220 days. That's how long Jacob's Well here in Wimberley, Texas, was running at 0 to near zero flow.
Right now on the National Weather Desk, historic storm. Record rainfall drenches Los Angeles, triggering mudslides, causing flooding and some dramatic rescues.
This house is just completely disintegrating.
There's also feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
We've had late season bulks before where we started slow and gotten a lot of snow to make up for it.
Deadly wildfires destroy thousands of homes in Chile. Also, are hurricanes becoming so strong that we now need a Category 6? And after months of drought, a once dry swimming hole is flowing again in Texas.
220 days. That's how long Jacob's Well here in Wimberley, Texas, was running at 0 to near zero flow.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain could fall in Los Angeles today as the atmospheric river delivers a fire hose of water to Southern California. More than 10 inches of rain has fallen across the LA area since Sunday. By comparison, the city only averages just over 14 inches of rain annually. All that water triggered flooding across Southern California and heavy snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains. At least 3 deaths are blamed on the storm. As of this morning, more than 150,000 homes and businesses are still without power, and flood watches and advisories remain in effect for the region through this evening. So you know that the LA River rarely looks like this. It's often just a slow stream crawling through the city over a concrete bed. Right now, it's full of roaring rapids and threatening to overflow its banks. Firefighters pulled a man from the rain-swollen river yesterday. It happened after he jumped in the rushing water to save his dog. The fire department lowered a rescuer into the river to reach the man while other crews searched for the dog. The man was still conscious when he was pulled from the water and flown to a hospital. The dog was found down the river where it had managed to swim to safety. The National Weather Service said an extremely dangerous situation was unfolding in the Hollywood Hills on Monday. This is what people who live there saw. Water, mud, and debris flowed down the mountain, damaging homes and cars. Mudslides were a problem across Southern California. Look at this video and you can see the path the water and mud took down the mountainside. When it had nowhere else to go, where it had nowhere else to go at the bottom, it simply covered up these cars up to their doors. It was a scene repeated in several communities. Jeff Nguyen has more from a hard-hit neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Shared moments once created around this family piano are now a distant memory on Caribou Lane, where a landslide pushed this home off its foundation into 2 others. Dave Christensen's house got hit with a wall of mud and debris.
Quite frankly, it's pretty terrifying.
The weight pancaked onto this carport, trapping 2 vehicles. The Davis family lives right down the hill.
My family and we slept in the living room last night, and then that's about when it happened.
Neighbors say the hill above them gave way around 2 a.m. Monday.
It was like thunder, like, and then the sound of trees, I thought, snapping like twigs. And it was just this house, just completely disintegrating.
Along canyon roads between LA's west side and the valley, we found plenty of spots on Beverly Glen where mud and rocks fell onto the road. Back on Caribou Lane, neighbors say the mudslide caused a break in the gas line, which crews had to repair. The woman who lives in this home was able to get out safely with help from the fire department, while Dave Christensen's family walked out on their own after daybreak when they were able to get full view of their neighbor's house that had been leveled.
Yeah, and I feel bad because the woman who bought it was just about to start remodeling the house. But fortunately, it was vacant, so nobody was injured.
Again, in the mountains, the story is the snow, and lots of it. This is what Interstate 80 north of Lake Tahoe looked like yesterday. It's hard to see, but there is a highway there. A few cars and trucks braved the conditions, but visibility was extremely limited. Several feet of snow are expected in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Madison Keevy is just down the road in Soda Springs with that part of the story.
Add this to the 21 inches of snow that dropped in Soda Springs over the last 48 hours. Monday afternoon, the wind picked up and so did the snow. The Soda Springs General Store is out of power. These are the kinds of impacts that this area sees on these big winter storm days. Impacts that hit Sierra highways hard. This was the view a few hours ago from I-80 near Castle Peak. limited visibility, and snow-covered roads.
That's it. Sometimes we start slow and we can still finish the season at or near average or even above average.
That's one positive impact in the last 2 days, riddled with slowdowns, stuck cars, and spinouts. Multiple in a row stopped traffic temporarily on I-80 eastbound at Cisco over Donner Summit on Monday afternoon.
Our snowfall and our snow water equivalent numbers really come up from being quite low to being around 72% of average, which is a huge improvement compared to the way we started the season. We still have the rest of February and into March, and we've had late season bulks before where we started slow and gotten a lot of snow to make up for it.
Meantime, there is some good news following a report about an avalanche near Los Angeles. Everyone has now been located after they went missing at the Lee Canyon Ski Resort. The avalanche happened yesterday afternoon. The resort will remain closed today. More than 30 inches of snow has fallen at Lee Canyon in the last week. And California is not out of the woods yet. An excessive rain threat continues today in Southern California and stretches all the way into Arizona, including Phoenix. Los Angeles is under a flash flood warning. The Futurecast computer model shows the heaviest rain moving out of the LA area this afternoon, but there still should be some light showers into this evening. And when it's all done tomorrow, another inch of rain will fall from LA to San Diego. North of Los Angeles, and while the LA area has been drenched, Bakersfield has remained mostly dry. The reason? It's something called a rain shadow. Aaron Perlman explains.
Is that atmospheric river we were tapping into. Before it moved inland, what we saw is a lot of wind coming up over the mountain areas. When the winds come up out of the south, prevailing winds with warm, moist air, is what we saw over the weekend. It brought in heavy rainfall on top of the grapevine. But on the reverse side of things, we got here in the valley floor was downsloping winds, creating it very, very windy. And in return, it makes it dry. And that's what we call the rain shadow as dry air advances. So as long as the winds are coming out of the south, this is a great way for you to be a forecaster. Whenever winds are coming in out of the south over the mountain areas, it's whipping really strong, that's going to be a good sign we're not going to get any rain. When will the rain show up? When the winds die down.
And an environmental disaster is unfolding in Chile, where devastating wildfires have killed at least 123 people. Hundreds remain missing. The fire started on Friday. At least 3,000 homes burned to the ground. And while it's still not clear how the fires started, they were spread by strong winds with dry conditions and low humidity. A heat wave is pushing temperatures in Santiago to 100 degrees. Experts say climate change is also a factor. They say rising temperatures around the world make trees and soil drier and easier to burn. And speaking of climate change, here's an interesting Facebook post from Maine meteorologist Charlie Lopresti. It shows satellite images of Sebago Lake since 2000. Back then, it was fairly common for portions of the lake near Portland to have frozen by now, especially the main bay. But this year and last year, there's little to no ice on the lake. We'll have to wait to see if this is a trend or just a deviation for a couple of years. Now let's take a look at what we can expect the rest of this month to look like weather-wise across the country. Here's a recent TikTok post from meteorologist Lexi Horvath on February's weather outlook.
While February means Groundhog Day, Valentine's Day, and the big day, it's also looking like this year winter is far from over. Far from over. The Climate Prediction Center's outlook for this month favors warmer than average temperatures for much of the northern parts of the country. But the southern half is more up in the air, meaning an equal chance of warm and cold air. A large reason why is this. It's projected to be wetter, which could mean lower daily high temperatures. Now, the monthly outlook does not mean every day is going to look like this. It just means it's the average for the month.
Well, a floating restaurant in Ohio took to the name literally. Part of Skipper's River Cafe broke loose from its moorings over the weekend, drifting more than a half mile down the Ohio River. The restaurant was closed at the time. New Richmond's fire chief says the river is currently flowing 3 times faster than normal. The restaurant has since been secured to the riverbank. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, the largest dam removal project in the world And world history is taking place right now in Northern California. We'll look at why some residents think it's a bad idea.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti. Look at the Northeast. We have a nice quiet-looking weather pattern in the Northeast over the next 3 days. Expect a lot of sunshine with seasonable temperatures. Here we are as we go throughout the afternoon on your Tuesday here. This takes us to about lunchtime, 1 o'clock or so. Temps are running low to mid-30s with a lot of sun. There'll be more clouds out on southeastern Massachusetts, Cape Cod, the islands, and eastern parts of Maine. And more of the same should be expected on Wednesday. We'll call it partly sunny skies on Thursday. Enjoy.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the mid-Atlantic region. We will be sunny again as we move through your Tuesday. Maybe a bit cooler as low pressure is pulling in some cooler winds out of the north. But overall, we should see mostly sunny skies except along the immediate coastlines. Once we head into the afternoon, we'll still see temperatures right around 40 degrees or so, perhaps 30s across parts of New England, 40s in the mountainous regions. It'll be a little bit chillier as we move into the overnight hours on Tuesday into Wednesday morning.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast. Highs about 59 degrees in Nashville, 63 in Tupelo. Mobile coming in at 69 degrees. Charleston 59. Jacksonville about 61, and we're looking at Tampa 67. High pressure pretty much in control over parts of the Mississippi Delta, keeping things clear and dry. Big coastal storm out there just north of the Bahamas off the Carolinas. We'll continue to keep some rough surf out there on the eastern portion of the Atlantic on Florida. There could be a few trailing showers there, but for the most part, a lot of sunshine, cool temperatures.
The National Weather Desk.
And Jacob's Well in Texas is flowing again, and visitors are flooding to see it. The swimming hole has been dry for more than 7 months, or had been dry for 7 months, but recent rain in the area is helping to end the nearly year-long drought. Meteorologist Chicago Windler has more.
220 days. That's how long Jacob's Well here in Wimberley, Texas, was running at 0 to near zero flow. But that all changed with some recent rain.
Last week, we got about 5 inches of rain here.
Catherine Sturdivant from Hayes County Parks is celebrating the change in our weather pattern, and visitors are embracing the puddles to see something that's been missing for months.
It's been terrible. I mean, you know, to see the creeks all dry up and the springs all dry up.
The combination of 2 straight years of drought plus overpumping of the Trinity Aquifer left this hill country gem in dire straits.
You could physically see the drought right then and there, and it was uncomfortable to look at.
Sturdivant leads tours of Jacob's Well to share the history of this popular swimming hole.
The story of Jacob's Well starts way, way back, about 100 million years ago.
For thousands of years, it was a reliable water source.
There was always clean, clear, flowing water coming out of Jacob's Well. We are sure by looking at written and oral histories, it doesn't seem that Jacob's Well ever stopped flowing prior to the year 2000.
Since then, the well has stopped flowing 6 times.
This is the longest extended period or low or zero flow that we've ever seen.
Excitement is high that the water is flowing again.
Gosh, it's more beautiful than I expected. The water is such a beautiful color.
An average flow for us out of Jacob's Well is about 4 cubic feet per second to maybe about 2 million gallons of water a day.
This artesian spring, home to the second largest underwater cave in Texas, saw a temporary bump from the rain, but the aquifer below tells a different story.
There was not much of a change, and that is because during rain events, water can go into the ground, not get down into the aquifers, but get pushed back out of springs quite quickly.
To recharge the aquifer and provide long-term recovery to this oasis, the rain needs to fall in places like Marble Falls and Fredericksburg to the north and west.
I'm not able to predict how long this is going to keep up and what we're going to be looking like come May 1st when our normal swim season supposedly should open.
Swimming here has been banned since June of 2022.
What we need is more rain.
In Wimberley, Texas, I'm Chicago Windler for the National Weather Desk.
This morning, NASA was supposed to launch a new Earth and climate satellite called the Plankton Aerosol Cloud Ocean Ecosystem, or PACE. The mission was delayed due to weather and is now set to take off early tomorrow morning. Emily Gracie sat down with a NASA scientist to find out what kind of data PACE will be sending back and how it will improve our understanding of the ocean.
PACE will give us a new and really like a rainbow full view of the oceans and atmosphere. NASA Earth satellites have been observing Earth for 20 years, and they've given us so much, especially from the ocean. But theoretically, it's a retro technology. We need this new technology to be able to answer the questions that have accumulated during that time.
I saw something about it's going to map the color of the ocean. Can you explain what that means? Because I don't know anything about the color of the ocean, other than it's blue.
Exactly, yeah. And to start with, the majority of the ocean is blue. But then, you go somewhere to the beach, and then it's really not that blue anymore because there's things in it. And then if you go close to the river mouth in Chesapeake Bay, kind of gets brownish because there's dead leaves that are oozing their tea in there. And if you go somewhere else, it gets reddish because there's probably phytoplankton that is red. So by looking at the changes in the color of the ocean, we're going to use this fancy mathematical formula to tell you, oh, there's a little bit of sediment there. Oh, there's a nasty algae. Don't go there. Or oh, look, it's a beautiful bloom in the North Atlantic. The springtime is here. That's what PACE is going to give us, just using the ocean color.
So very similar to weather satellite. This one I know focuses on ocean, but there is some atmospheric interaction here with PACE as well, right?
Yeah, there's a really important, the whole second portion of PACE and PACE's mission is to look at the atmosphere. There you have these teeny tiny particles called aerosols. They can come, from wildfires. They come from smog, volcano deposition, sand coming from Sahara Desert. And they interact with water in the atmosphere and they make clouds. And this interaction between the aerosols and water cycle and this making of the clouds is one of our biggest unknowns. This is one of the things that we really don't understand well when it comes to climate, how climate works in our planet Earth. So having ocean color instrument and 2 additional polarimeters in PACE, which are 2 additional instruments, we're going to be able to discern different types of aerosol and really focus on this interaction between the aerosols and clouds to be able to better understand our climate.
Speaking of oceans, some scientists are proposing a new level to the hurricane scale because of warming ocean temperatures. In a new research paper published on Monday, climate scientists proposed creating a Category 6 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Currently, storms with winds of at least 157 miles per hour are categorized as a Category 5. The new Category 6 would start at 192 miles per hour. According to those scientists, hurricanes with winds over 192 miles per hour are becoming more common because of warming ocean temperatures. And the largest dam removal project in world history is taking place right now in Northern California. While the state environmentalists and native tribes back the plan, many local residents remain worried about the impact on the water supply, salmon, and property values. Sophia Bruinsma is in Siskiyou County, California, with more on the controversy.
A lake once filled with high tides of water is now nearly dried up in the historically biggest dam removal in the world.
Just looking around and seeing obviously how black and dark everything was.
Homes that used to have lake views now don't, with just maybe inches left of water in some places. Iron Gate is the most recent dam to be removed in the Klamath River, and recreational use of the lakes have now been taken away.
I think it's a big impact for just the whole area in general.
The rural county of Siskiyou relies heavily on their farming agriculture to supply their economy. Farmers and residents are expressing concerns about the dead animals in the area and financial consequences that may follow. And the California Department of Fish and Wildlife confirmed that about a dozen deer were trapped in the mud due to the draining.
Now, if the state takes it away, they will actually have a water problem. And our rates are going to go up, and the consumption will be forced to be dropped. And that's going to impact the people here, but the farmers are going to bear the brunt of it.
The discussions to remove these dams have been in place for over 20 years. In 2010, Pacific Corp and 40 other signatures were signed in place of the Klamath Hydroelectric Settlement Agreement. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission gave its final approval in 2022. The $500 million plan is to remove all 4 dams by the end of 2024. Native American tribes have been big advocates for this dam removal, as well as environmentalist groups and state officials.
If you're looking for more great weather content, be sure to check us out on social media. You can find us on all your favorite platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. Time now for a short break. As we go, let's take in some scenes of a snow-covered Norway.
Well, a very good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Pretty quiet weather across the Midwest. Really no major rain or snow for us for the day today. And temperature-wise, all of us are warmer than normal. We are starting to get our next weather make it a slide its way in here across the plains for tomorrow. Winds will start picking up a little bit as well. That continues to move in more as we head into your Thursday. Enjoy these mild temperatures the next couple of days because cooler air is just around the corner with below normal temperatures returning.
Good Tuesday morning to you, meteorologist Chris Suchan. Look at our forecast across the region, starting off with a bit of a chill in the air. We'll get a lot of sunshine with some high clouds across Texas into Oklahoma. Highs around 60 to the mid-60s into Abilene. Lots of sunshine. New Orleans, Little Rock, and Corpus Christi will be in the 60s. We head into Wednesday's forecast. A little bit more moisture starting to pump in off the Gulf. So that'll give us a little bit more cloudiness across the region. Maybe a sprinkle or two up into the Panhandle. Still mild temperatures in the 60s.
I'm meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson. Here's what's happening across the West. A very dangerous atmospheric river and trough of low pressure combining to bring flooding rain after 5 to 10 inches of rainfall in 48 hours around places around L.A. towards San Diego. We have lingering heavy rain there for mudslides and debris flow still possible. Feet of snow and 1 to 3 inches additional rainfall now pushing in for the Four Corners, Arizona, Nevada, and parts of southern Utah. That's the scene from here.
The National Weather Desk.
New episode of our podcast Off the Radar is out now. Check out this sneak peek.
When the U.S. Global Change Research Project put out the call last year for works of art to be featured in the 5th National Climate Assessment, the response was overwhelming. We got over 800 submissions from across the country. The goal? to provide a powerful lens for examining our relationship with the changing planet. Bringing art into that conversation is powerful because it allows us to grapple with the topic in a different way than just, seeing text on a page. The submissions were as broad and diverse as the artists themselves. We had grief and we had hope, and it really was quite a remarkable spectrum of topics and kind of perspectives that people were bringing to this. Today, we are exploring the convergence of art and science in the 5th National Climate Assessment. Whether you're an artist looking for inspiration or a scientist hoping to improve your communication skills, this episode is for you.
Find that episode along with all other episodes of Off the Radar anywhere you get your podcasts. We'll be right back. And thank you for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Make it a great Tuesday, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.